Good morning, Westlake. This is Dominic DiMiceli.
And Paul Julian coming to you from our studio in the Media Lab.
In this broadcast, we discovered that news is designed to report and spread knowledge on a subject that is currently affecting people. It's what is happening now. News that people want to know about, whether it's global, national, local, political, or of general interest. There are 5 top categories producers use to determine if an item is newsworthy. They are trends, timeliness, relevance, prominence, and human interest. This month, we investigated topics in all categories and found some interesting and ridiculous news.
Corona cases have seen a massive rise in the month of October. How massive is the rise, and where is it hitting the most? Stephen Ojeda tells us more.
Welcome to the W. I am Stephen Ojeda. Are you wondering if COVID-19 is rising again? If so, here are some of the areas they're rising in. Coronavirus has caused a global pandemic and panic throughout all parts of the world. The United States leads in cases and is starting to spike up again in some parts. A second wave of cases is reported to happen soon as the cold weather is starting to unfold. The New York Times reports daily average of COVID-19 cases this past week has topped 62,000, a 32% increase from the average 2 weeks ago. That includes 72,064 cases reported on Thursday, the highest one-day total since July. New COVID-19 cases have skyrocketed by 70% since hitting a 2-month low on September 12th. The Times states that the higher numbers are driven by a surge in parts of the Midwest and Rocky Mountain regions. This is in huge effect based on bars, restaurants, and sporting events, weddings, and political rallies being reopened. The COVID-19 related deaths have now exceeded 223,000 as the total case is 8.4 million since the start of the pandemic. Rhode Island has shown the largest increase of cases at 1,387. Currently in New York, a 30% increase has occurred within the last 2 weeks. With this spike of cases throughout the United States, people should continue to follow the safety guidelines. CDC guidelines recommend always wearing a mask, sanitizing your hands, and maintaining the 6-foot social distance. This can slow or prevent a second outburst from occurring. Following the safety guidelines can prevent a possible second wave. Help prevent the death rate that has risen in 24 states the last couple weeks. Help the world go back to the way it was before the pandemic instead of furthering it. Start taking the pandemic more seriously to save and prevent future lives from being lost. Factor that keeps COVID on the decline until a vaccine is made for areas such as Rhode Island, Washington with high cases. Stay protected and safe. Be the change you want to see. I'm Stephen Hay with the W, signing off.
Here's Matthew Last on how to stay motivated during the coronavirus with some tips to get things done.
Hello, welcome to the October edition of the W. Today I'll be talking about how to stay motivated during these tough times during the pandemic. It is key to understand that these times are not normal, even though over 200,000 people have died from the coronavirus, and hundreds more every day. You need to stay positive, especially during this upcoming winter. Another tip is to find peace in moments of joy and cherish them. Another tip is to start a list at the beginning of the day and to complete all the tasks at the end of the day. Another tip is to have a special place at your home dedicated to work so that you can mentally understand that that's the only area we'll be working in. This pandemic hopefully is almost over and the government can find a cure for it. Within the upcoming year, if one of your loved ones have passed away from the coronavirus, just know that they wanted you to stay happy during these times. With that being said, hope you can stay safe. Back to you in the studio.
Did you know there is more than one way to vote? Dominic Dimiceli explains the importance of voting and about the different ways you can vote.
Welcome to the W. I am Dominic DiMiceli. Many people are considering this to be the most important election of all time. This is for a couple reasons, including the very polarized candidates and coronavirus, which has affected voting in a couple ways this year. This has caused a need for mail-in ballots and also early voting so the polling location is not too crowded. If you decide to vote by mail, you can either choose a normal mail-in ballot or an absentee ballot, which will come in with all of your information already filled in. Also, if you decide to vote in person, expect a long wait time as there is a very large number of voters this year. Because of the special circumstances, if you are able to vote, you definitely should find the time to go to your nearest polling location and cast your vote. The main reasons you should vote is so that it'll give you a chance to have your voice heard, and voting is an opportunity for change. Back to you in the studio. Kanye West believes he could be a serious contender for the 2020 election. Here's Vinny Bravo with more.
Has Kanye West lost his mind, or does he really care for this country? Welcome to the W. I'm Vinny Bravo. Kanye West opened up about his presidential plans during an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. The 43-year-old rapper said his renewed Christian faith and current run for president were inspired by God. Naturally, Joe opened up the show asking Kanye why he was running for president, which led to Kanye recounting the fact that he was inspired around 2015, something he's mentioned before. He said, "It was something that God put in my heart back in 2015. On July 4th, he went on Twitter and said he was running for president. He released his first presidential campaign ad on Monday, calling on Americans to write him on their ballots this November. West said he believes his creativity and goal-setting personality makes him a strong contender compared to President Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden. Kanye said if he doesn't win, he's open to running for governor of California. Kanye has plans to run again in 2024, and he might possibly do so under a different political party. This has been Vinny Bravo, back to you in the studio."
Here's Matt Sardo on 50 Cent endorsing Trump to win the election, so he doesn't have to leave the USA if Biden wins.
Hi, I'm Matt Sardo, and welcome to the W. Have you been paying attention to this year's presidential election? There have been multiple celebrities over the last few weeks who have been endorsing who they will be voting for to try and get their fans to vote for their candidate. Last week, rapper 50 Cent said he will pack his bags and leave the U.S. if Democratic nominee Joe Biden wins the election. 50 Cent, a New York resident, said that the reason he does not want Biden in office is because he does not want his taxes to be increased by 62%. So he has been endorsing President Trump by saying that he will be voting for him in the upcoming election. The rapper said on his account that the idea of taxing those who make more than $400,000 per year at a rate of 62% in New York and California was simply too much for him to bear. New Jersey would also have a high tax rate at 60%. He also said that not just him, but mostly every other wealthy person that does not support Biden's tax plan will also most likely leave the country. This is a big thing for our country, and a lot of lives can be negatively changed if Joe Biden becomes president and he carries out his new tax plan. This is your money that you have earned, and the government would be taking it from you at an even higher rate if this happens. Throughout his presidency, President Trump has made tax cuts and doesn't believe they should be raised, and a lot of people benefit from this. So taking it away would have a lot of wealthy people reconsider their current living situation in our country. With all this being said, celebrities can have a huge impact on who their fans will vote for, because they may look up to them and can be influenced by their views. So before you go out and vote, do your research so you can assure or reconsider your decision. And also see what other people have to say about a certain topic. Back to you in the studio.
Guitar player Eddie Van Halen recently passed away. Ben DiGennaro' explains the impact Eddie left.
This is Ben DiGennaro' with the W. Guitarist Eddie Van Halen has passed away at age 65. Eddie Van Halen, who most famously played guitar in the band Van Halen, was and still is a music icon. He was known for his innovative and skillful style of guitar playing. After a very long fight with lung and mouth cancer caused by a smoking habit that lasted years, the guitarist finally succumbed to his illnesses. Van Halen had an iconic sound that defined 80s rock music and a visual aesthetic that influenced pop culture for years to come. Eddie was credited with innovating the popular guitar playing style of tapping, which became synonymous with Van Halen's sound. He was also known for experimenting with his gear and creating all kinds of strange noises with his guitar. His playing appeared on many popular songs that are now considered classics, like the guitar solo on Michael Jackson's Beat It, Van Halen's Jump, and of course the iconic solo on Eruption. Many notable bands and people were influenced by Van Halen, as they pretty much jump-started the 80s hair and glam metal movement. Needless to say, rock music would not be the same without them. Eddie's guitar playing defined not only the sound of a generation, but a genre of music. So as corny as the songs and outfits may be, the impact Eddie Van Halen made cannot be underestimated. He will be remembered for generations to come. Back to you in the studio.
2 masked bandits broke into California bank, but those intruders were not humans. Sarah Lynch gives us more information on that.
This is Sarah Lynch reporting from the W. Tuesday morning on October 20th, 2 masked bandits broke into California Bank, but these intruders weren't humans. They were raccoons. Yes, you heard me right, raccoons. According to California's Fox 13 News, a man using an ATM spotted the raccoon intruders inside the bank. Initially, he thought that he was seeing a stuffed animal on the desk, but he saw the animal move. In security camera footage, the raccoons can be seen prowling the halls and sitting at a desk. In one image, one of the raccoons, who appears to be leader, holds out a paw, apparently directing his accomplice to the next target within the bank. There were muddy paw prints on the tree outside the bank, so we suspect the raccoons climbed the tree to the roof of the bank and then somehow managed to crawl into the air ducts and fell through the ceiling tiles onto the floor of the bank. Local officials noted that there were several broken ceiling tiles. When they got inside, they knocked over computer screens, dumped paper on the floor, and their main target was a box of cookies. Once police were contacted and the SPCA came to the rescue, they chased the raccoons around for about 10 minutes before safely shooing them out. Thankfully, the raccoons weren't injured during this morning escapade, and to our knowledge, they didn't leave with any money. Sarah Lynch, reporting from the W. Back to you in the studio.
Sam's Club will be making some changes to their staff, but they are not hiring humans. Luca Sica will be talking about the new addition of robots in Sam's Club.
Welcome to the W. I'm Luca Sica. Robots are taking jobs from humans, and Sam's Club is taking the first step. Sam's Club will be putting working robots in many of their stores across the country. These robots will be doing all manual labor, such as moving boxes and stocking shelves. This way, all of the workers that would be doing that can focus on customer service. There'll be more employees to help the customers. They will accomplish more and pay the same amount of workers that they would originally be paying. However, the cost of the actual robots and all of those expenses is not factored in. It was announced last year that by February 2021, 1,800 of its more than 4,700 U.S. stores will have autonomous floor scrubbers. Sam's Club will soon have a robotic scrubber in every club in their U.S. chain of nearly 600 stores. 372 new robots were recently added to stores across the country. They are making moves. If you shop at Sam's Club, you will be happy to know that there will be even better customer service. All thanks to the robots getting a lot of the dirty work done. Installing robots is a step in a new direction. We are yet to see if it will be a positive or negative direction. But until next time, this is Luca Sica with the W. Back to you in the studio.
7 people have been arrested for trafficking flying squirrels in a Florida wildlife facility. Jack Pans tells you more.
Hello, and welcome to the W. My name is Jack Panzarella, and I'm reporting from Westlake High School. 7 people have been charged in a Florida-based international flying squirrel trafficking scheme in which thousands of flying squirrels were exported to Asia. The investigation started last year after the Florida Fish Wildlife Conservation Commission received an anonymous tip about people illegally trafficking flying squirrels in one country. 6 suspects have been arrested, while 1 remains a fugitive. These 7 criminals have facing a variety of charges, including racketeering, money laundering, and dealing with a stolen property. Flying squirrels are a highly endangered species with less than 20,000 creatures left in the world. Investigators discovered these animals have been sent to China, Korea, and Japan. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the poachers captured as many as 3,600 squirrels in multiple counties in Central Florida over the past 3 years. They have set over 10,000 flying squirrel traps, trying to get as many as they can that have been lost. Approximately $1.6 million have been lost in the exchange between the 7 people and their buyers. The investigation has learned that the Florida suspects trafficking other animals, such as freshwater turtles, alligators, and many more water life animals. The United States is currently working on getting their money back, and most importantly, the flying squirrels and the other animals have been unfortunately stolen from them. This has been Jack Panzarella reporting for the W. See you in the studio.
A sidewalk in the Bronx collapsed underneath a man waiting for the bus. Out to Paul Julian.
Welcome to the W. I am Paul Julian. Sometimes simple things like waiting for a bus or going for a walk can be more dangerous than they sound. For example, a 33-year-old man in the Bronx, New York, was waiting for a bus on 183rd Avenue when the ground beneath him gave out and he was sent down a hole nearly 15 feet deep. Here's the surveillance footage of the incident. Right away, a crowd rushed over to where police say a side layer of concrete sidewalk gave out. 911 was called, but by the time first responders arrived, he had been stuck in the hole for nearly 30 minutes. The Department of Buildings later said the sidewalk over the building's cellar had been in disrepair and given out. Bystanders described their chilling experience to authorities.
The bandage around his face and, his arm looked like they were broken and stuff like that. Hopefully it's okay.
The victim's brother told reporters after he was hospitalized that when he fell, his face scraped concrete and that skin came off. His arm was bad, his leg was numb. He told us, "It's important to stay diligent and remember that sometimes the unexpected happens. That's why it's important to always be prepared. Carry your cell phone with you so you can dial 911 if you're going into the wilderness. Carry a whistle and lots of water as well. So next time you go out, ask yourself, am I prepared? Be smart when leaving your home, and if you're unsure about what you're getting yourself into, do some research. Start preparing yourself to be knowledgeable in awry situations." This has been Paul Julian. Back to you in the studio. A 4-year-old girl walks 5 miles to try and save her grandma in dangerous conditions. Corina Bischkoff gives us more details on this brave story.
Welcome to the W. I'm Corina Bischkoff. A 4-year-old girl, Saglana Shalak from Siberia, Russia, was lucky enough that she was able to tackle such a dangerous route. This 4-year-old girl lives with her grandparents on their farm deep in the taiga forest in Siberia, more than 12 miles from their nearest village and 5 miles from their closest neighbor. When Saglana woke, she found her 6-year-old grandmother not moving and she was scared. With no one else to turn to, Saglana had to take matters into her own hands. This 4-year-old girl, scared and in search of help regardless to the dangerous conditions, she walked through the freezing Siberian wilderness home to wolves, bears, and other large predators. She soon arrived to her nearest neighbor's house where they checked to see if Saglana was okay, and soon after made their way to her grandmother's house. Unfortunately, the young girl's grandmother ended up dying from a heart attack. Saglina was brave and known as a hero due to the deadly weather conditions and predators that she made it through on her journey of trying to save her grandmother's life. Back to you at the studio.
A cargo ship with 34 members went up in flames this past weekend. Now out to Ray Lubrino with more.
I'm Ray Lubrino, and you're watching The W. One of the deadliest marine accidents in U.S. history occurred this past week. A cargo boat hauling 33 crew members and 1 captain in the Santa Barbara harbor caught fire with no survivors. The NTSB stated the cause of the fire was a lack of oversight. The fire started during what should have been the night shift on the boat. Because no one was assigned the night shift, the fire trapped the crew under the deck with nowhere to escape. Investigators told officials that because some of the recovered bodies were wearing shoes, they believed the victims were awake and trying to escape before being overcome with smoke. Both exits from the bunkers were blocked by flames, and report lists smoke inhalation as the cause of death for all. I hate the term accident in this case because, in my opinion, it is not an accident if you fail to operate your company safely. Because the boat burned and sank, investigators couldn't determine what caused the fire. They did discover the fire began towards the back of the main deck, where divers had plugged in phones, flashlight, and other items with combustible lithium-ion batteries. With 34 dead and a complete failure from the NTSB, the families affected by this horrible tragedy are outraged and want more clear answers of why the ship was ever allowed out of the dock. Since the wreck, there has been no further evidence or reports on this tragedy. This has been Ray Lubrino. Back to you in the studio.
Crime has seen a significant increase in NYC, and Ryan Ordonez is here to tell you all about it.
Welcome to the W. I'm Ryan Ordonez. A gruesome shooting happened at an open mic night at a Houston nightclub, with the shooter still at large. Police responded to a call about a gunman opening fire on October 21st. Officers responded to the call around 9:45 p.m. to investigate the shooting. Reports received that multiple people were dead inside the club, but no information was had on the shooter just yet. Officers arrived at the nightclub and found 3 people dead, with 1 injured. 17-year-old Sir John Mitchell is expected to make a speedy recovery while in hospital. Investigators on the scene believe that the gunman produced a firearm after a fight broke out, but aren't 100% sure on the matter. The police don't have any information on the gunman either at this time. Kay Trammell, a 20-year-old hip-hop artist, was present in the club when he heard about 7 to 10 shots fired in the open mic night show. Trammell and his friends dropped to the floor and then ran out of the club to safety. Trammell tells reporters, "We got really scared. We ran for our lives." Everybody started running for their lives after the gunshots. A full-scale investigation has been called on the club. Back to you in the studio.
During the World Series, Mookie Betts stole 2 bases, so America got free tacos from Taco Bell. Marc Denunzio tells you more.
Welcome to the W. I am Marc Denunzio. If you like Taco Bell, then you'll like this. Taco Bell and the MLB teamed up to make a tradition that started almost a decade ago. When the World Series started, if a player stole a base, anyone can go to Taco Bell and get a free taco. With the baseball player Mookie Betts stealing 2 bases during the World Series game, means if you go to Taco Bell, you can get a free taco in store and one from online. Whether or not you're a baseball fan, Taco Bell is offering an incentive to pay attention to World Series 2020 and boost their sales. For the 9th year in a row, the fast food chain will give away free Doritos Los Tacos if a base is stolen during the postseason series with its Steel Base Steel Taco promotion. Also, this is the second time doing this as a collaboration between Taco Bell, Intersport, and MLB. Don't forget to get your tacos. This has been Marc Denunzio. Back to you in the studio.
We close this episode with Stephen Pryor and the new iOS updates.
Hi, I'm Stephen Pryor reporting for the W. Do you want to make your iPhone look better? Making your home screen can be difficult, but can be worth it in the long run. The reason it could be worth it is because it makes your phone look more appealing, and now you can use a picture you want for any app you want. Now that technology is getting more advanced, you can customize your home screen to make it look like how you want. No more ugly apps. You can match your apps to your background. You can use your shortcut app on your iPhone as long as you have iOS 14. One of the widgets you can have is the weather app. It allows you to see what the weather is without having to open the app. You can make your widget bigger and smaller depending on how you like them. Siri has also changed. It no longer takes up the entire screen. It is just a small circle on the bottom of the screen. Your phone can be a very important tool for school as well. Using the Reminders app, you can also use the Google Classroom app to do your work if you forgot your computer or your computer is dead. iOS 14 allows you to have easy access to all your apps. You can make any app bigger so you can see what is going on in the app. The result of iOS 14 is making the iPhone easier to use. You can do anything from your phone, and Apple is trying to make it as easy as possible for the consumers. I'm Stephen Pryor, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you for watching The W. Make sure to stay in tune to next month's episode of The W, where we discuss the issues surrounding the election. This has been Dom DiMiceli
and Paul Julian signing off.